welcome to Yoga Stretch. My name is Katy. Today we're going to let go. That's our topic. Many times we hold on to thoughts and ideas and belongings far too long, and it's a struggle for us. So if we let those things go, we can move with the flow of life. Now sometimes it can be a little bit hard letting things go because we're quite attached to them. We're emotionally attached. So we need to release those emotions so we can let those things go. And if there's a little sadness, just celebrate the fact that you had those things in your lives and now it's time to move on to newer and fresher things. So let's give that a go today. Take a seat with me. So let's just sit in a seated position and just place your hands on your knees or in your lap. We're going to start by focusing on our breathing. So make sure you lift up your lower spine. So lift up the rib cage so you lengthen the lower spine. If you need to sit on something, roll up a mat or sit on a yoga brick. Just something that might lift your hips up if this is uncomfortable. Drawing the tummy in just a little bit to help support your lower spine. And let's relax the shoulders down. Just lengthen a little bit through the back of the neck by lifting the crown of the head up to the ceiling. And then lower your chin down just slightly. So release any tension in the back of the neck. Start to focus on your breathing. So let go those thoughts, all those things that you might be worrying about at the moment. Just let them go. And if they continue to make you fret, just make a note on your phone, or if you have a pen and a pad nearby, just make a note on that. So if you're worried about forgetting anything, then if you've written it down somewhere, you won't. And then you can relax and let go and enjoy your yoga today. So breathing into the chest. Feel the chest move up and down. Then move your breath down to your rib cage. Now bring your breath right down to the belly, where your navel is, and below if you can. Now lower your hands down to the sides. Let's take a deep breath in. Open the chest up. Bring the palms together. Breathe out, float those hands down to the sides. Let's do that again. Breathe in, lifting arms up. Gaze up at your palms if you can. Eyes can be opened or closed, and then float your hands down. Now we're going to lift our hands up to prayer again, over the head, and breathe out. Bring those hands down to the chest. Touch the thumbs to the heart center. Then breathe in, reach the arms up, and breathe out, float the arms down. Let's do that again. Breathe in, reaching up, lengthen through the spine, and breathe out. Bring thumbs to heart center. Breathe in, reaching up. And breathe out, lower the hands down. Let's try that one more time. Breathe in, reaching up, palms together, and breathe out, thumbs to heart center. Beautiful. Breathe in, reaching up, and breathe out. Bring your hands down. Now take your hands on your knees, and let's do cat-cow pose in a seated position. So breathe in, open the chest up, and breathe out. Pull the navel in, round the back out. This is the cat arch position. This is the cow pose position, drawing the shoulders back, opening the chest, and breathe out. Let's do two more. Breathe in, opening up that chest, and breathe out. Draw the waist in. Last one. And sitting up nice and tall again, we're going to change the cross of the legs. Keep the hands on the knees. We're going to draw circles with the torso now. So let's breathe in and breathe out. Breathing in as you lean back, breathe out as you move forward. Now let's just check in with the hips to see if they're moving easily. And this is quite a comfortable move. So we should just check if there's any points that are sticking, any little parts that are just slightly uncomfortable, and just pause a little bit in those. Let's change direction. Does this side feel a little bit different to the last side? going to lift those knees up and place those feet on the floor. Now let's hug those knees and have the toes on the floor. You can have the hands behind the knees if you prefer. And then let's lift those feet up and flex and point, flex and point, point and flex, I should say. All right, we're going to extend the arms forward. Feel free at any time to lift the feet up to the ceiling and extend the arms. Now we're going to lift those arms up to the ceiling, breathe in, reach up, tighten the tummy, breathe out, clasp the fingers and bring the arms forward. We're going to have a little twist. Breathe in, forward, breathe out to twist. Breathe in, forward, breathe out to twist, in, forward and out to twist. Might be ready to go down now, so cross the legs. I'm going to turn sideways and roll forward onto hands and knees in a cat pose. So let's slide the shoulders towards the hips and bring the tummy up in a neutral cat. Stretch your fingers out and press the palms firmly down. Let's breathe in, cat arch, draw the navel up towards the spine, chin to chest, gaze at your navel or your thighs. Breathe out, cow pose, let's drop the chest down, look forward and tuck toes under to stretch the ankles and calves. Breathe in, cat arch. Nice big breath in the back and breathe out, cow pose. Let's do that another 3 times, just in your own time. Really feeling that very big stretch in the back. And then the little squeeze in the back as you drop your tummy down towards the floor in your cow pose. Try that one more time, big cat arch. Big breath in and breathe out, cow pose. Let's flatten the tops of our feet now. We've got a windmill cat. So let's start with the left hand. Breathe in, lifting up to the ceiling. Gaze up at your thumb if you can. And then bring the arm behind the back. Hold the hip. Draw the shoulders away from ears. Keep looking over your shoulder. Now try and rotate the torso a little bit with your arm around your waist so it's a little bit stronger than having your hand lifted up to the ceiling. Gaze up or just pick a head position that suits you best. Okay, we're going to release that hand and bring it down and do the same thing to the other side. Breathe in, lift the arm up. Pause here or take the arm behind your back. Try to hold your hip. Rotate through the torso. Draw the shoulders down. Let's take 3 breaths here. Remember to take big ones. And then bring your hand back down to the floor. Tuck the toes under. Now this can be uncomfortable for some people, so just ease yourself into it. You can have your feet flat down if you prefer. Lift up onto your knees. That will take pressure off your toes. Remember to squeeze your buttocks, move your hips forward and firm up your thighs. So if you're staying in that position, stay on your knees or stay with me. Deep breath in, sun salute, and let's bring the thumbs down to the heart center and take 3 breaths. Okay, lovely. Let's bring the hands down to the floor and lift the feet up. Let's rotate the ankles. Just loosen up those toes. You can pedal your feet or circle your feet. Lower the tops of the feet down now. We're going to do a modified camel, so you can bring your knees a little wider if you want to. Bring the hands behind the back, fingers pointing forward, then squeeze the buttocks and lift the hips. You should be able to feel a nice big stretch in the thighs. You can look forwards or gaze out or lower your head back, whichever is most comfortable for you. And let's lower those hips down and try it again. Squeeze the buttocks, lift the hips, pick that head position that best suits you. And then lower yourself down again. Let's walk the hands forward and lift up into our camel position. Now let's squeeze the buttocks. Push those hips forward, firm up the thighs, turn your hands into fists and just place them above your lower back. Now draw your elbows inwards, squeeze the buttocks, push the hips forward a little bit more, draw the shoulders down and lengthen through the spine as you draw the shoulders away from the ears. So this is our camel position. Try not to work too much in your lower back. Now again, chin to chest, gazing diagonally or lowering the head back. Just try to pick a position which is not straining you. Breathe into your belly. And then dive your hands down by your sides into child's pose. We want to round that lower back out. So let's breathe into the lower back. Stretch the lower back muscles out. Bring the breath up to the mid-back, then right between the shoulder blades. Then breathe into the whole back. Okay, now extend your arms forward, lift up and tuck those toes under. Walk the feet back into plank. Now we want to pause in a plank just for a little bit to build some strength around the chest, the back, around the buttocks and the waist. So let's press the buttocks together, tighten the tummy, draw the shoulders towards the hips. Look in front of your fingertips so your head doesn't drop down. Put your knees on the floor if you need to. Let's take 3 breaths here. Now let's breathe in, breathe out, plank to floor, or just pop those knees down. Then slide your elbows forward into a Sphinx position. This is lovely for back flexion, so we can see the little arch in the back. Now press the pubic bone down, lengthen through the spine up towards the ceiling and draw the shoulders down towards the hips. Press the tops of the feet into the floor so the shins lift and the thighs are firm. Draw the elbows back towards your hips and bring your chest forward. Now you can lift your chin if it's comfortable. Keep the torso lifted. Try not to sink down. Just lift up nice and tall. Now if the head position is uncomfortable, then we're going to tuck the chin in, lower the chin down. Or just pick anywhere along that range of movement for your head. Breathe into the front of the body to find the stretch in the belly. Okay, lower yourself down and let's bring the arms down by the sides. We've got a locust. Chin can be on the floor or tuck your chin in and forehead down. Press the hips down, squeeze the buttocks, and let's lift the legs. Point through the balls of the feet so the legs are nice and long. Lift the torso up, lift the arms a little higher than hips and reach down to your toes with your fingers. Stretch your fingers out. Look forward if you wish, otherwise tuck the chin in, lengthen through the back of the neck. Take 3 big breaths. Now bring your arms out to the sides and then place your hands under your chest and push through the hands into a cobra, high cobra. And tuck those toes under. Let's stretch back into child's pose, just with the toes under if it's comfortable. Otherwise, flatten the tops of your feet. Keep your arms extended if you can, elbows on the floor if this is not comfortable. Then just slide your hands a little closer to your hips and then you might be able to sit down. Keep your arms long if you can. A little pressure through the heels of the hands as you help your hips go down, sit down onto the heels. Breathe into the whole of the back. Now let's inhale into cat. Come into down dog. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up. And let's walk the heels up and down, stretching into ankles and calves. And then lower the heels down, bring the chest towards the thighs. Now tighten the tummy, lift the navel up a little bit higher and lift the hips a bit higher. And we want to feel a release around the shoulder blades. So let's draw the shoulder blades towards the hips, nice firm waist. Have the arms in, head in line with the arms preferably. That's it, beautiful. Right, we've got a three-leg dog. So let's step the feet together and lift the right leg up. I want you to watch the toes as you lift your leg up. Squeeze your buttocks. This is really good work for your buttocks. Bring your chest towards your thighs, lengthen through your arms, lift your leg a bit higher. Okay, let's lunge that foot forward. We've got a high lunge, so make sure your feet are hip width apart. Move them if you need to. Sweep the arms back. If your balance is good, lift the arms up, high prayer. Now draw the shoulders down, reach the arms up. Now of course you can lean back a little further if you want to. If that's quite comfortable for you, pick that position. Spread your toes out so your balance is good. Make sure your front knee is lined up with the ankle. Okay, let's breathe in, breathe out. Lower your left hand down to the floor for a lunge twist. Line the fingers up with your toes and then gaze up at your thumb at the ceiling, or look sideways or gaze at your toes at the floor. So let's pause in this position for 3 breaths and just check the shoulders down. And pushing through the back heel, nice length in the back of the leg. Breathe into the belly, focus on the breathing. Really bring your whole attention onto what you're doing. Now, you might want to bring the back foot in a little bit closer, and we're going to lift up to a reverse warrior 2. All the reverse positions are a little bit challenging, so we're trying to get that torso rotated and the shoulders go down. So don't bring your shoulders up and twist, bring them down. And if your twist is just a little bit less, it doesn't matter. Take another breath here. Then lower the back hand down to the opposite leg, lift the front arm up and gaze at the palm. This is our reverse proud warrior. Breathe down to your belly. This takes quite a bit of focus, so make sure you're nice and balanced on the feet. Okay, let's windmill the hands down to the floor. We're going to do a hip stretch, so lower the back knee down, flatten the top foot, take the hand inside the foot and toe heel your foot a bit wider. Okay, so you might need to slide this leg back a bit to get a bigger hip stretch. And then bend the elbows or bring the elbows to the floor if you're nice and stretchy. And then drop your head down. Chin to chest, let the back of the neck stretch while you're here. Breathe into the belly. Okay, lifting up. Now we're taking a hand outside the foot, toe heel the foot back in line with the hip. Tuck the back toe under, flatten the foot down. We've got a warrior 1. Sweep the arms back, lift them up. Well, check your front knee. Make sure it's lined up with the ankle. Back heel press firmly down. And again, you can choose to bring your arms back further. Keep the shoulders down. Lift the chin slightly so you can breathe more easily down to the belly. Now open your arms up into a warrior 2. So we should be just moving ourselves just very slightly. If your feet have drifted, just make sure you straighten them out so the heel lines up with the back heel or the middle of the foot. So we're in that general direction. Torso up nice and straight. Try not to get this lean in your torso. Puts a little bit of strain on this side. So how are we doing with letting go? Have we found little tight spots? Are we hanging on dearly to some thoughts? Perhaps we're worried about forgetting something. Now remember to write that down. And you won't have to worry about forgetting. Or just hanging on to some anxiety or fears that are unnecessary. Okay, beautiful. Let's take another deep breath in this position and then lower the back hand down. You can straighten your front leg a little, rotate the palm, lift it up, or you have got a cow face pose, so you can press the elbow or bring the other arm behind the back if you can manage. Help the arm if you need to. And if your hands don't reach, don't worry. Just place the hands on the back and then lift the elbow up a little bit more for a bigger stretch in the front side of the body. of this. Okay, bring your arms up into a T position again, front knee bent. We've got a side angle pose. So push your hips back, reach your arms forward. Don't forget to keep the knee bent. And then take the elbow on the knee. Other arm extends. Let's bring it onto a diagonal. Now shoulders towards hips, tummy in. Just tuck that towel under a little so we get the hips nice and straight. All right, so you might want to stay here. Perhaps even bring your hand a little bit lower. If you can drop your hip also, that's a bonus, but that's okay. Just whatever you can manage is a good thing. And then lower that hand down to the floor. I'm going to take the hand on the other side of the foot and come into our down dog again. Just move from side to side. Keep yourself nice and loose. And then step your feet together. Let's lift the left leg up, three-leg dog. Squeeze the buttocks. Draw shoulders towards hips and the chest towards the thigh. Can we feel ourselves lift up a bit more? Now, no rotating your foot outwards. Point the 5 toes to the floor. Work your buttocks. We need to strengthen it. And then lunge the foot between the hands. We've got a high lunge. Make sure your back foot is a little bit wider in line with your hips. Then sweep your arms back, lift up. Roll the shoulders back and down. Sink a little deeper if you can. Breathe into the belly. Remember to lengthen through the back leg, but don't lock the knee. Okay, we've got a lunge twist, so breathe in, breathe out. Left hand to floor and reach the right hand up. So here's our lunge twist. Drop the hips down a little. Back knee can go on the floor if this is uncomfortable being in a high lunge. Okay, so now we're going to lift ourselves up into that reverse warrior 2. Perfect. There we are. We've got that rotation through the chest. If you can't quite get it, you can place your hands on your hips. But if you can get yourself a little more twisted each time, you'll find it becomes more comfortable and easier if you just keep trying. We've got a reverse proud warrior. Lower the back hand down to the opposite thigh. Lift the front hand up, gaze at the palm or the arm. Line it up with your nose so we can keep nice and straight in the shoulders. And then windmill your arms down to the floor, back knee to floor. We've got a hip stretch, so flatten the top of the foot, hand inside the foot, toe heel the foot a bit wider, and slide the opposite knee back. Okay, nice stretch in the hips now. Let's bend the elbows or place the elbows on the floor. Chin to chest, crown of head towards the floor. Start to breathe into the belly and the lower back. All right, so lift up now. Take your hand outside your foot, toe heel the foot back in. Now we're going to tuck the toes under, lift the back knee, place the foot down. We've got a warrior 1 next, so nice stable position on the feet. Sweep the arms back and lifting up. Breathe down to the belly. Okay, beautiful. Now open your arms up to a warrior 2. Shoulders are down. Check into the buttocks. Look over your front middle finger. Try to keep your arms at the right height. Have a look at your back arm if you're not certain, because that back arm often drops down. So you've got to be really careful that it stays up at shoulder height. Keep breathing down to the belly. Now rotate the front palm, lift it up, proud warrior, but this time we're coming into our cow face pose. Press the elbow, perhaps take the other arm behind the back. You might even be able to reach your fingers this side. Lift your elbow up a bit higher. Let's stretch into that side of the body a little bit more. Okay, beautiful. Let's come back into our T position, and we've got a side angle pose. So elbow on the knee, palm up, close it into a fist and lift the back hand up. And you can bring it to a diagonal, but draw your shoulders right down away from the ears. And for those who can, you can reach your hand down to the floor, go a bit deeper. Then float your hand down to the floor, front foot back into down dog. Rise up on the balls of the feet, come down to knees. Let's take a rest in child's pose. So why don't we just bring our arms by our sides. We've worked quite well, worked strongly. So let's take a rest. Breathe into your back, breathe right down to the mid back and the lower back. Alright, beautiful. Let's bring our arms forward. Lift up into a cat and a down dog. And now we're going to take a walk with our hands towards our feet. And let the arms hang down. Pull the tummy up, let the elbows hang down. And just move the elbows from side to side. Loosening up around the back. A little stretch around the side of the back and the other side. Bring yourself to a standstill and move your head forward and backwards in a yes movement. And then side to side in a no movement. Lower the arms down, place them on your shins, breathe in, breathe out, tighten the tummy, squeeze the buttocks, slide the hands up the legs. And lift the shoulders to ears, roll the back and draw them downwards. Lift your chin up. Let's pause here for a few breaths. Alright, we're going to do some balances. So let's just stay at the back of the mat. Let's start with the sun salute. Deep breath in, sun salute, lifting up nice and tall. Palms touch. Breathe out, forward fold. Chest to thighs. Just relax down onto the chest, chin tucks in, and then flat back. Hands on shins, fingers on toes, or on the floor. Lengthen through the spine and backs of legs. Forward fold, chest to thighs. Then walk your hands forward into a down dog. Beautiful. Let's make sure we're nice and stretched out in this position. Now we're going to do a scorpion. So let's step the feet together and lift the right leg up. Point the toes at the floor for a three-leg dog. Then bend the knee and rotate the hip out. Look at your toes for level 1. Level 2, lift the hip a bit higher. Look under your arms. The weight stays evenly through the hands. Take 3 breaths. Then lunge your foot between your hands. We're coming into a warrior 3. So let's move the body weight into the front leg. Lift the back leg up if you can. You've got your hands supporting you. And then let's bring the arms out to the sides. Pull the tummy in. So we're looking to be parallel to the floor. So let's adjust ourselves so we are. Back leg parallel to floor. Front leg, the leg we're standing on, should be extended nice and straight. And now we can lower those hands down again. Lift the leg up to the ceiling. Gaze at your knee or your toes if you want to. So one leg handstand, ideally the lifted leg is up to the ceiling, but don't worry if it doesn't get that high. Walk your fingers towards your toes. Line them up with your toes to make it a little bit more challenging. And if you want to make it more challenging, hold your ankle with the same hand and then with both hands. So if you're just a bit wobbly, just use one hand, whatever you need. Now, float the back foot down next to the front foot. We're going to bend the front knee that was on the floor, lift it up. Okay, beautiful. And we've got a standing twist. So let's take the hand outside the knee and the other hand out to the side. Bring it behind your back a little. Now if you're going to do this level 1 position, you're going to turn your gaze over your thumb. If you want to try level 2, you're going to go into a forward wing pose and then turn your gaze to your back thumb. Okay, start bringing your gaze forward, bend your front knee, float your arm to the side and your foot back down. Now if you can't fully extend your front leg, that's fine. If you can, that's wonderful and even better. All right, beautiful, let's try that on the other side. Take a deep breath in, sun salute, and breathe out, forward fold. Chest to thighs and flat back. Breathe out, forward fold. And let's step back into a down dog. Bring your chest towards your thighs, lengthen through your arms. Then step your feet together, lifting the left leg up this time into a 3-leg dog. Watch your toes, point them to the floor, squeeze your buttocks, lift your leg up, bring your chest towards your thighs. Now bend the knee, rotate the hip out. Look at your toes or go to level 2, look under your arm, stretch into the hip. Bring your chest towards your thighs. Take 3 breaths. Okay, we're going to lunge that foot between the hands. Now, lifting the back foot up, just you can jump it forward a bit if it's a bit far away. Start lifting your foot up. Use your hands on the floor to help balance you. And then, if you can, bring your arms to aeroplane wings, tighten the tummy, straighten through the leg. Draw the shoulders towards the hips to really flatten the back out. Lengthen through the standing leg and try to get your torso, using your mind's eye, and your leg parallel to the floor. Now float your hands back down to the floor. Gaze at your knee, lift your back leg up. If you can, walk your toes in line, your fingers in line with your toes. Hold ankle with the same hand or 2 hands. Check if you're nice and stable today. One side might be better than the other. And then lower your back foot down next to your front foot. Now the front foot is the one that's going to lift up as you stand. Lift your foot up so you're standing up on one foot. Hold that knee with your opposite hand. Now bring your hand back out to the side. Gaze at your thumb. If you can, go to level 2. Hold the outside of your foot, come into a forward wing pose. Then turn your gaze to your thumb. Bend your knee, float your foot down, float your hand down and walk your feet. So that should have got your heart rate up and hopefully focused your attention on your body and your balance. Take a few breaths and we're going to go down to the floor. So let's start with a squat. Deep breath in, sun salute. Lifting up nice and high with the arms. And then we're going to breathe out, bring the thumbs to heart center. Toe heel the feet a bit wider. We want to do a squat, so hang those toes over the edge of the mat. Breathe into the belly and breathe out. Pull the tummy in, push the hips back. And when you get down, you can adjust your feet, just adjust your feet. Now often people end up nice and rounded in the back, so we don't want that to stay the same, so we're going to lift up. We've got nice and tall, shoulders are down, tummy's in, bottom of the hips drop slightly forward. That's much better. Elbows in between the knees, push them apart. Now if you can't manage this posture, go into a butterfly pose. Okay, let's bring the hands to the floor. We're going to step our feet back into a cat position. We've got a scorpion, so take the right knee forward. Now, ideally, ankle and the knee are lined up. But if you can't quite get it there, ankle it down and bring your toes forward. Slide that left leg back so we can get those hips a little bit closer to the floor. Now, if you're one of the flexible people that can sit on your hip, in this position, please do that. And for the others, you might have your hip lifted. That's fine. So if you want to sit on that hip anyway, please do. So elbows under shoulders, draw shoulders towards hips, tummy in. Stay in this position or stack fists, rest your head on top. Stack your hands, rest your head on top, or extend your arms. But just remember the focus is away from the shoulders, so let's draw them down to our hips. See if we can get the shoulders right away from our earlobes. Make sure the hips stay nice and even in the stretch. Okay, beautiful. Let's lift up. Tuck the toes under, walk the knee forward, just so we can get back into our cat position. And this time we're going to bring the other knee forward. So a little bit of momentum will get you forward. And then let's position our foot. Remember, toes are forward. Make sure the hips are nice and even. If you can sit on this hip, please do. Come down and just test yourself out. So if your hips are a little bit tight, I want you to really think about loosening up and letting go. Give yourself a little shake, encourage the muscles, but just remember not to overstretch, so going beyond discomfort. So a little bit of discomfort is good, but too much is not good. If you're finding it just horrible to hold, then you need to loosen up a bit, come out of the posture. So picking the same arm position as you did before. Let's breathe as we stretch into our hips. All right, let's lift up. Slide your back knee in a little, so tuck your toes under, move your knee forward, and then come back to cat. And let's cross the ankles, walk the hands to our feet, take a seat, and I'm moving forward more centrally into my mat. Okay, so let's slide the hands behind us, fingers pointing forward. Now you can just roll your shoulders back, lift your chest up, because we've got a tabletop. If this is not comfortable, please, no need to do it. Okay, squeeze your buttocks, lift your hips. Now, I want you to give your butt a nice big squeeze so you can lift your hips up in line with your knees. Then open your shoulders, widen your shoulders as much as you can. That will help lift your hips up also. Chin to chest, gaze up or lower the head back. Find the position best for your neck and take 3 breaths into the belly. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's take a seat and extend the legs forward. Bring the toes towards you, lifting up the ribcage nice and tall. Shoulders are down. Now let's slide those hands back now. You just might want to move your hips out of the way a little bit of your sit bones and slide your fingers back. Now don't put any weight through the fingers. Drop the shoulders down, tummy in. Have the knees a bit soft so we don't work too much in the hips, and let's sit in a nice rod pose. Breathe around the rib cage. Look for any tightening in any parts of your body. So that's usually a defensive mechanism, and you want to just comfort your body and say, look, it's okay. Because generally a little bit of fear kicks in and we want to reassure our body it's all right to let go. It's okay, we're going to look after ourselves, and we're aware that the body is not confident in this position. So just take it a little bit easy, rest frequently if you need to. Okay, beautiful. Let's lift the hands up, breathe in, reach up, breathe out, and you can rest your fingers on your toes, but look how bent my elbows are. My shoulders are away from my ears. Tummy's scooped in and I'm bending forward. Hold your big toes, hold your feet, just rest your hands on your shins. So if you feel anywhere that you're overstretching through the backs of those legs, just bring your hands back. Now make sure your elbows aren't lifted, because that means your shoulders are at your ears. I want you to bend the elbows. Have a big bend in the elbows, and doesn't the neck feel so much better? Okay, let's pause here for several breaths. All right, now I'm going to lift up and turn so I'm facing forward. Bring one foot to your thigh, lift your hips up and sit down. Now we're going to take the hand on the shin. In fact, place it on the floor. Rotate the rib cage, and we're going to rotate around that rib cage so we're facing sideways with the chest. Lift our arm up and over. Can we feel that lovely big stretch in the side of the body? Now, for some of you, it may be up here. For others, it may be a little bit lower. And for some of you, hold your big toe and extend your opposite hand past your foot. Just let your fingers reach past the foot. Okay, we've got a nice side stretch here. You can also have the hand behind the head. Or just pick something where you can feel like you've got that hip and that side stretching. Now let's lift ourselves up, beautiful, and take the ankle on the knee. Now you can lean forward, bring your toes forward, both feet should be flexed. Pull the tummy in, lean forward, feel the stretch in the hip and the leg. Okay, now some of you might want to continue leaning forward that way. Now others might be happy to bend the knee, slide your hands back and lift that rib cage up, lift your chest up, lengthen through the lower spine and draw the shoulders towards the hips. So the chest really lifts up nice and high, nice firm waist. Drop your chin slightly and just always check in with your body that this is okay. We should have got rid of those thoughts by now, all those thoughts that try to bombard us at the beginning of our yoga, and we should have let them go by now. Ask yourself, if you haven't let them go, what would be the reason for it? Perhaps a little extra practice? Are you hanging on to something a little tight? Are you frightened you might hurt yourself, or you might do something you're not confident doing? Just ask yourself why. Okay, beautiful. Slide your leg away and just place your foot on the floor, and we're going to do a twist. So wrap the arm around the knee, other arm behind the back. Use the back hand to lift you up tall. Turn your head to look in front of your shoulder. For those nice flexible people, you might take your arm behind your back and perhaps try a bind. Shoulders are down, twisting, reaching the fingers if you can. Remember to breathe. And release. Now remember to experiment a little bit. Don't be shy about trying something out that you haven't done before. Foot to thigh. Now lift the hips up and sit down. We always get lovely surprises when we do these things. All right, so taking your right hand on the floor, rotate your rib cage to the left. Lift the arm up, breathe in and breathe out. Lean, just testing where you can lean. Well, some people are quite tight. It doesn't matter. Just experiment, see how you go. And perhaps you can even hold your big toe, but reach your other arm past your foot. Okay, breathe into the side of the body. And then release. Let's lift up, and we're going to take the ankle on the knee for a hip stretch. Now you can leave your foot there and lean forward, or take the ankle on the knee, rest your arms on your knee, lean forward, nice big stretch. Or you can leave the ankle there, bend the knee, slide the hands behind you and lift up that rib cage. Roll the shoulders back, nice firm waist. Keep the lower spine lifted. And you can drop your chin down a bit or just lift the chin up a little, whatever best suits you. Try and keep your toes forward too. Okay, let's slide that leg away and put the foot down, lifting up tall through the spine, and then wrap the right arm around the knee. Left hand behind the back. Turn it into a fist and lift yourself up nice and tall in your spine. Now, if you want to, you can wrap the arm around the back and try to go into that full bind position again. Quite challenging. And let's take several breaths. And then let's release. Beautiful, well done. So uncross those legs, come into a butterfly pose. So lifting the hips up, sit down. Now, it doesn't matter where your heels go. If they come in closer, you're going to stretch the inner thighs a little bit more. If you bring the legs out a little, you'll work a little bit more into the outer edge of the hips. So holding ankles or holding feet. Let's lift up nice and tall. Shoulders are down, tummy in, lower back lifted. And then let's draw the knees down. That's it, lovely. Draw the knees down again. Stretch that inner thigh. Beautiful. And can we try again? Oh, lovely. Lift your knees up. Now the lovely thing about letting go is you end up becoming more flexible, and that's what we want. That's why we come to yoga. So it is important for you to master letting go and just letting your life flow just a little bit more than it has been. Okay, so let's bring ourselves down to the floor. Breathe in, lift the arms up, pull the tummy in, breathe out, roll yourself down one vertebrae at a time. Just lower yourself down slowly, otherwise just lay down. Now flatten the shoulder blades. We want to press the elbows in the floor. Lift the back up, flatten the shoulder blades down and walk the feet to the end position. Bring the knees to the chest one at a time. And let's just rock from side to side on the lower back. We want to make sure that we're lovely and comfortable in that lower spine. So draw your navel down a little bit more. Let's lift the legs up and get some of that blood from the feet down into the hips and back to the heart. Okay, beautiful. So stand here, or you can lift your hips up. Place the fingers around the back, thumbs around the waist. Lift up into a shoulder stand. If you haven't managed to get to a shoulder stand yet, just legs up in the air is quite okay. Rotate the ankles 5 times one way, 5 times the other. It's lovely to give our ankles a treat. We rely upon our feet so much during the day. Should give them a little bit of attention and some care. So knees to nose if you can. Hands to floor. Roll yourself back down again. Just one vertebrae at a time. Really notice, lower the lower back one vertebrae at a time. And then you can lower your feet to the floor, drop them out nice and wide, drop the knees inwards, or bring the soles of the feet together, drop the knees outwards. Placing the left hand on the heart center, right hand on the belly. Check the shoulder blades. Have they rolled forward again. Press the elbows in the floor. Lift the back up, hug the shoulder blades, flatten the back down again. Lift the head, tuck the chin in, lengthen through the back of the neck. And let's put that head down again. Okay, lovely. So breathing into the belly. Now start to let all those thoughts, feelings float away if they haven't already. If you've been focusing on your breathing and your moves and letting go in each posture, just release a little more out of the neck, out of the shoulders. Can we feel the flow of the breath? Just a little more. Paying attention a little more means you've been able to let go even more. Let your neck soften, your shoulders soften. When you're ready, extend your legs along the mat. Roll your feet, move your feet from side to side like windscreen wipers, then drop them outwards and relax on the inner thigh. Give them a little shake so they really do relax. Continue to breathe into your belly and your heart center. Otherwise, the hands just drop out to the side also. Palms up is a good position, but if you prefer palms down, that will be fine. Just check that your spine is nice and long. The neck is comfortable. Just focus on your breathing for the first several breaths. Now you can switch off your video and stay in relaxation for as long as you like. 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Then turn the video back on and join me to finish. Otherwise, stay with me now and let's finish together. Let's move the fingers and the toes. Breathe down to the belly. And walk your feet to the end position and roll to your side.
Line your knees up, have your toes forward, stacking your ankles and feet. Then lift yourself up into a seated position, resting hands on knees or in the lap. Relax the shoulders down and just lift up gently through the lower spine as you lift your rib cage. Shoulders drop down, nice and softly. Chin slightly dropped. Soft neck, soft shoulders, firm waist. Let's lift the arms up, breathe in. Sun salute arms and breathe out, thumbs to heart center. Let's take 3 big yoga breaths. So breathe into your belly, bring the breath up to the rib cage, shoulders and back, and breathe out. And again, breathe into the belly, rib cage, shoulders and back, and breathe out. Beautiful. And take one more deep breath in at your own pace. And have a peaceful heart and a peaceful mind and a wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your yoga. And if you did, press like and make a comment. And press subscribe now so you can get regular updates. Perhaps we should have done crow pose since the crows visited us today and sang their song. Thank you for joining me.